Hey everyone, and welcome to another video. So I'm a hot mess right now, but I almost forgot to do my review for the Acolyte episode 5. So my sister and I watched it earlier tonight, and I completely forgot to film my review right afterward, but it's still fresh in my mind. So the Acolyte episode 5 is a hot mess. The Acolyte show itself is a hot mess. Last episode I remember talking about the writing was so bad. I just had fun like laughing the whole time because none of it makes any sense. And this time I kind of had the same feeling. Basically the Sith guy force pushes all of the Jedi back, and the whole episode is kind of like a fight. The Jedi die pretty quickly, and the Sith guy, turns out it actually is the dude, the drunk guy. So me and my sister called it. We were totally right. It was kind of obvious, but my goodness, when he's not a drunk and he's acting like a Sith, like, let me just say, he looks so fine. Like, he's actually kind of the highlight for me. But Soul fights him. Soul's apprentice fights him, and she actually fights better than the other Jedi. So she's a Padawan holding her own more so than the other Jedi who just got killed pretty instantly. Yord takes Osha, runs away because Soul, they start calling her like a civilian. It was kind of weird, like, civilian, get out, the civilian, you know, all that stuff. So they're running back to the ship, and then at some point they encounter the Moths and then change their mind to go back. May, May's character is the weirdest. Like, it doesn't make any sense. So she, as a kid, she like wants to be one with her sister. She was like obsessed with her sister, wanted to be one with her and never leave, never, you know, separate from her. And then she wanted to kill her sister, tried to kill her sister, and then she thought her sister died, so she trained for however many years, I think 15 years. She trained for a long time to kill the Jedi, get revenge for her sister, found out her sister was alive, so then she turned on her master, decided to try to turn herself into the Jedi, only to encounter her master killing the Jedi, and instead of trying to save or rescue her sister, she runs away. And then in this episode, she encounters Osha, and they hug and have a moment. And then she all of a sudden knocks her sister out and then cuts off her hair with a lightsaber and takes her place. Like, they do the parent trap is literally what they're doing. She dresses up as Osha, pretends to be her, and then makes Osha look like her. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So Soul's apprentice fights the Sith guy, and he does actually call himself a Sith. So not only did we have Ki-Adi Mundi last episode knowing about this mission, but now you have all of the Jedi who went on this mission except for Soul are dead. And they're dead by lightsaber wounds, by the way. And then you have the guy actually calling himself a Sith in front of Soul. So Soul knows about that. Sith were supposed to be extinct for the millennium. Who cares about canon, right? Well, so the Sith guy kills the Padawan. Soul gets mad, and then for some reason the Sith guy decides to take May hostage, and he threatens her life. And for some reason Soul's like, okay, and he throws his lightsaber away when May is the one who was killing the Jedi. So like, it's a hostage situation with both of the villains. So like, why would Soul care that the Sith's gonna kill May because May killed all the Jedi? It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And then I don't know why he was threatening to kill her when, I mean, she betrayed him, so I guess that makes sense. And then him and Soul have a hand-to-hand combat fight, which I'll admit, the lightsaber fights in this episode, I felt like they weren't very good. I've heard Star Wars Theory in his video said it was like the best of the Disney era, still not prequel era style fighting. For me, I actually didn't like the fighting, and I felt like there was a lot of issues with it. There was a lot of like situations where like the Jedi did not put up a good fight. The Padawan, Soul's Padawan, put up a better fight against the Sith than Soul did and all the other Jedi combined. She dies. Yord shows up. He throws a helmet, the Sith guy's helmet. He throws the helmet at him and kind of gets the upper hand, and then he gets his neck broken, so Yord is dead. And then Osha kind of leads the Moths to the Sith, so he was able to force push all of these master Jedi backwards and just yeet them all across the forest. The Soul to the point where he's not even in the scene for a while. Like, somehow he got force pushed miles away, and yet the Moths like carry him in the air and he can't fend off a bunch of Moths. And it's like the Moths actually legitly put up a better fight against the Sith than the Jedi did, so that's kind of a weird thing. And then, I don't know, and it's just like, and then so that's when Osha and May have their moment, and she trades places with her, so it's actually May going back with Sol, who knows about the Sith, even though the Sith are supposed to be extinct for millennium. And then my question is, like, because Plagueis was born between 40 and 20 BBY, so basically Plagueis is alive during this time. I don't know how old he's supposed to be, but he's supposed to be alive during this time. So, like, who is this guy? Like, the Sith, first of all, rule of two. There's only two of them, no more, no less. There's always a master and an apprentice, and that's how they lived for thousands of years. That's how they stayed hidden from the Jedi. There is no, like, other people learning, like, the dark side and having, like, there is no other Sith but the master and the apprentice. So they're breaking canon with that. So if they're trying to stay in canon, then is this guy like an apprentice of Plagueis's before Palpatine was? Or is he a master of Plagueis? Like, and how did he learn the dark side? Who did he learn the dark side from? And then how are you going to explain the fact that a Sith is here and existing 100 years before the prequels, when in the prequels the Sith had been extinct for 1,000 years? And Kai Adi Mundi, the guy who literally said that the Sith have been extinct for a millennium, he was here. He knew the Jedi were being sent on a mission, so there's no way that nobody's going to notice that none of the Jedi come back from their mission except for Sol. And Sol, if he gets back, he's going to tell him. He's going to blurt it. So, I mean, the level of breaking Star Wars canon is just... And then the bad writing, and then the combat, like, the hand-to-hand combat between Sol and the Sith was the best combat in the whole episode. But for me, it's like the Jedi, the lightsabers, I mean, are literally nothing more than glorified glow sticks. Like, they don't do anything. They don't, I mean, she did get stabbed 3 times with one, so who knows, she'll probably come back to life and be fine next episode, because in this era, like, everybody gets stabbed with a lightsaber and survives. Poor Qui-Gon. But, like, I just don't, the writing is just horrible. And again, May's motivations, she's just like I said, she literally she wanted to be one with her sister, then she wanted to kill her sister, and then she wanted to get revenge for her sister, and then she just randomly decided to betray her master and turn herself into the Jedi that she was trying to kill, and then her master shows up, and instead of protecting her sister, she runs away, and then she encounters her sister, tries to hug her and be all, sweet with her sister, and be one with her, and wants to go off with her alone, and then she knocks her sister out, and then she pretends to be her sister to go with the Jedi that she was just trying to kill, but also that she wanted to turn herself into. And then the Moths putting up a better fight against the Sith Lord than the Jedi did, and then the Padawan putting up a better fight against the Sith Lord than the Jedi did, and then the Sith Lord guy wanting to train May to have an apprentice, and then wanted her to kill the Jedi, and then she betrayed him, so he's killing her, or trying to kill her, and trying to kill the Jedi. And several times in the fights, he knocks, like, people out and just leaves them there. Like, Sol, I think, got knocked out at one point, and the Sith guy didn't kill him. I'm pretty sure that happened to Yord, and Yord was just sitting there panting and staring up at the Sith, and the Sith just, like, walks off or something. So it's like he's trying to kill the Jedi, but then he lets, like, Yord and Sol live longer than he should, and it's just, like, weird and stuff. When the Sith guy was confronting Sol, it was like he's a Sith and he just wants to be free and use his powers, and the Jedi are the oppressors of the galaxy, and the Sith, they're not terrorists, they're not killers, they're not these bad evil people who are just using the dark side. He wants to be free and use his powers and be who he is. The portrayal is just so sickeningly against Star Wars, everything Star Wars stands for, everything Star Wars is meant to be, and literally breaking so much Star Wars canon that it's like, it doesn't fit at all. And it feels like, it doesn't even feel like fan fiction, because at least with fan films and fan fiction films, it makes sense and it fits within the Star Wars canon. It is so bad. And then even if you ignore all of the Star Wars stuff that they're breaking and doing horribly and not fitting in and not doing right, the writing is absolutely terrible. Like, I can't even explain to you how bad the writing is. Like, I'm sitting here and, like, I've never watched a show that I've sat there and actually laughed at, like, in the moment. Like, there's times where I'll watch a show and I'll pick up on, okay, this was wrong, and, like, things that could have been done better in the writing, and like I'll pick up on what was wrong with it beforehand, but like in the moment, just having nothing in the thing making sense, with the writers just being so bad. I've just like never seen a show this bad before. Like the writing is bad, the everything. The Sith guy is hot and he was really cool, like, and that's about it. But even then his character was written really bad because his motivations was just, he's not a bad guy, he's just the poor oppressed guy who's just trying to live his life and be who he is and be free, and the Jedi are the oppressors. It's horrible. This is like, honestly, this episode, the combat didn't even save it for me, because for me, the lightsabers have become just glorified glow sticks. Like, my lightsabers in there would probably do more damage, and I have the plastic ones from Walmart. And that's how they're being portrayed now. And it just... yeah. So, honestly, 0 stars. This episode and this show is utter crap. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. If you liked this video, please be sure to give it a like and subscribe for more writing and reading videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And if you liked my review of this episode, episode 5 of The Acolyte, then check out the next one. I doubt it's going to get any better, guys.